The objective today is to evaluate a piecewise function. A piecewise function looks like this. F of x equals one of these three options. X squared minus 2x plus 1 if x is less than negative 2. F of x equals 3x minus 4 if x happens to fall between negative 2 and 6. Or f of x could equal 3x squared minus 2x if x is greater than 6. What you must evaluate is f of 1. According to those directions set up, which function, the first, the second, or the third, would we use to evaluate f of 1? Is 1 less than negative 2? No. 1 is not less than negative 2. Is 1 between negative 2 and 6? Yes. So we would use 3 times 1 minus 4. The 3x minus 4 is the function we would use. So 3 times 1 is 3, take away 4, and end up with a negative 1. With that same set of parameters there, what about f of negative 3? Which function, the first, the second, or the third, would I use to figure out f of negative 3? Is negative 3 less than negative 2?
Yep.
Yes, so that's the one. So I will use x squared minus 2x plus 1 and insert negative 3 for x. So I would have the quantity squared of negative 3 minus 2 times negative 3 and plus 1. So that's a 9 plus 6 plus 1, which is going to be 16. With this piecewise function, we want to find what f of 3 is going to be. Which function would I use for f of 3? The first, the second, or the third? The second one, because 3 falls between negative 3 and positive 5. So we would use 4 times 3 squared minus 5. That's 4 times 9 minus 5, which will give us a 31. What about f of 10? Which function would I use for that? The third one, yeah, because 10 is greater than 5. So 2 times 10 minus 1. That's 20 minus 1, which is 19. For f of negative 2, negative 2 is going to fall into this function because it's less than 4. So f of negative 2 is going to be a negative quantity squared of negative 2, and then minus 2 times negative 2. So that would give me a negative 4 plus 4, which turns out to be 0 for the first answer. And now for the next one, f of 6. 6 is going to fall into this one because it is between 4 and 10. So 5 times 6 minus 6 is 30 minus 6, which is 24. To start, we have to figure out f of negative 1. The negative 1 is going to be in this function because it is less than 3. So we will have a negative 2 times negative 1 minus 2. That's 2 minus 2, which is 0. Then we will move here, g of negative 2. In the g set here, negative 2 is going to fall into this one because it is less than 2. So we would have a negative 2 minus 2, which is 2 minus 2, turns out to be 0. And then f of 6. Back up here, 6 is going to fall into this function because it is in between 3 and 7. So 3 times 6 squared. 3 times 36 is going to be 108. So to do the functions, or the operations here, plus and minus, we're going to have 0 plus 0 minus 108, which gives me a negative 108.